Welcome to Talking Politics with Peter Beimers. I am Peter Beimers. I am a two-time candidate for the New Blue Party, and on Monday nights I'll post videos exploring the political scene here in Ontario and Canada in general. Well, there is only one Conservative Party willing to form a government in Ontario. And it's certainly not the PC Party, the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario, and it's certainly not the Ontario Party. It is the New Blue Party of Ontario. Perhaps you've seen on social media recently that Renita Ford, widow of Rob Ford, former mayor of Toronto, declared on social media that the New Blue Party is the real Conservative Party in Ontario. And she should know what conservatism is. It was her husband, Rob, who stopped the gravy train in Toronto. Now, Rob may have been quirky. I don't think there's any disagreement about that. But he was fiscally and practically conservative. Now, the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario can't be a Conservative Party here in Ontario. For example, they make the former Liberal Premier, Kathleen Wynne, look like a libertarian with all of Ford's spending. They put tax upon tax, for example, the industrial carbon tax. There's administrative fees, and it just goes on and on. Doug Ford's radical sex ed curriculum that are still in the schools, this same sex ed curriculum he said he was going to scrap from Kathleen Wynne, but he just built upon it. And to back up a point, he also said he was going to fight against the carbon tax, but decided that it was a good idea, so he got his own. Personalized it. And let's not forget the tyranny of the COVID lockdowns in order to please his BFF, Justin Trudeau, doing exactly what Trudeau wanted, having the most tyrannical lockdowns and laws in not just Canada, but including the United States. And we certainly cannot include the Ontario Party, the so-called Ontario Party, as a Conservative Party here in Ontario. They may talk a good game, but when it comes to practice, they fail. Now, they talk a good game because they plagiarize a lot of their platforms from the New Blue Party. And I had a professor when I was going through seminary who said, don't believe what somebody says, believe what they do. Now, the Ontario Party, when they had a member in provincial parliament, they talked a good game. They talked about the draconian measures that Doug Ford and the Progressive Conservatives were taking. They spoke out against it. Yet when it came time to vote in Parliament, they voted alongside Doug Ford, or they were just absent for the votes. There was only one party that voted against these measures, such as the Ontario Act, Reopening Ontario Act, and that was the New Blue Party of Ontario, Belinda Carhalios. Now, also, the number of candidates the Ontario Party runs during the last two elections shows they're not serious about forming a government in Ontario. They only had a handful of candidates, maybe it was 48 or 52 or something like that. And 2/3 of them were what we call paper candidates, just letting their names stand, but not really running or campaigning, just letting their names stand on the paper ballot. Now, I don't blame some of these candidates who actually do some work and they do run. I believe they do believe their message. They just don't know the history of the Ontario Party or have looked closer at their leader, Derek Sloan. And really, they only run candidates where the PC Party can't lose in those ridings, or where the New Blue Party is a serious threat to the Progressive Conservative Party and stealing the votes from them and actually either getting the PC candidate to lose and having somebody else win, or even the New Blue Party member candidate win outright. Now, if on their very best day, on election day, every single Ontario candidate wins, including the paper candidates who didn't try, it's still not even enough to form a majority government. At best, they might get a minority government, but they would have to take every single other riding and divide them up equally between the PCs, Liberals, NDP, Green, and whatever independent party you might want to throw in there. That would be the only way they would form a minority government. That's if every single member who is running from the Ontario Party wins. So they're not serious about forming a government here in Ontario, and nor should you take them seriously. They might talk a good game, like I said, but when it came time to act and vote, They did not. They actually cowered and went alongside Doug Ford. There was only one Conservative Party in Ontario willing to form a government and work for you, and that is the New Blue Party of Ontario. And it's not just me saying that, it is the widow of former Mayor of Toronto, Renita Ford, saying that as well. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you like what you hear, share with your friends, like, and subscribe for when new videos are posted every Monday night.